I don't know about you, but sometimes when I sit around and I just think about the things that goes on in my life that I really don't understand. Why am I alive? Why do I get up every morning to do the same thing over and over again? What is the meaning of life? I was thinking about all this while I was getting dressed to get ready for work. Then I got a phone call from a friend of mine. He told me he wanted me to go by his house to pick up something for him. And I'm like, sure, I'm heading that direction. So he told me to just get the key that's underneath the placemat outside. I'm like, okay. I'm like, where's this package at? It's not a package, it's a letter. I want you to read the letter. And then I want you to mail the letter. You want me to read the letter, then mail the letter? Why do you listen? Just go to my house and go and get the letter for me. Okay. I only had 3 hours before I had to clock in, so I got ready, ate a little bit of something, kissed my wife goodbye. I jumped in the car and I was heading north to Joshua's house. I got to Joshua's house around like 9 a.m. Got the key from underneath the placemat, opened the door, walked in. But some reason his house looked kind of different than it was before. I'm like, is this the right house? I walk in and I see all these cobwebs and I see all this dust and all these broken glass everywhere. But I tried not to think about it. I wanted to grab the letter and I wanted to get the hell out of there before I was late for work. I looked for the letter everywhere. I couldn't find it. Then I got a text from him. He told me to go in the basement. It is on top of the washing machine. So I go down in this basement. It has puddles of water, mold everywhere. This had a strange smell, and I was seeing rats. Why was I seeing rats? They were running by me, and I almost tripped and fell over a pile of dirt with a shovel sticking out. I walked over to the washing machine. I didn't see the letter, so I looked inside the washing machine and I didn't see the letter. And I turned around to call Joshua. And next thing you know, I turned around again to face the washing machine. The letter was sitting right there. So I walked over to the washing machine and I was a little nervous. So I grabbed the letter and I started reading it. It said on the letter, "Dear Tim, I know that we've been friends for a very long time, but sometimes I have really crazy thoughts in my head. Some people can call it a mental disorder. Some people call it me going insane. I have a habit of watching really, really disturbing movies like murder, killings, decapitations, anything that would just blow my mind. I want you to try to find your way out this house. And if you can find your way out this house, and you can find a way to go and mail this letter, this will be a great opportunity. If you do not do these things, I will come home at a later time and I will kill you." You're going to ask me, how did I turn out to be this way? Well, number one, I'm single. Number two, I barely work. I work odd jobs. I'm very lonely. I only talk to you once a month ever since you started your life. You got married, had a child. Now, Why would I hurt my best friend? Because you did something to me that I will never ever forget. You stole my wife from me, and you know you did. Now you have a choice. You can do this chore for me, which I call it a chore. I know it sounds stupid, but if you can do this chore for me, and if you can pass this test of getting out this house, I will let you live. But if you cannot get out of that house within the time I get back to their house, I'm going to kill you. I'm going to take your intestines. I'm going to wrap them around your throat, and I'm going to hang you from a chandelier that I have nicely in my home. And I will videotape you dead, and I will send it to your new wife and your child. So you have 5 hours to do that. Oh, you better get the stepping, because 5 hours it goes just like that. I dropped the letter on the floor. I tried to call Joshua, but he wouldn't answer his phone. He just sent me a text and says, "Did you find the letter?" Oh, you did find the letter, because you're trying to frantically call me. Listen, I have work to do. I see you in 5 hours. I just dropped my phone. I grabbed my head. I didn't know what to do. Man, this is easy. I'll just go right up the steps and head right out the door that I came in from. I ran up the steps, and next thing you know, I get to the door, and I try to turn the doorknob, but the door would not open. I started banging and kicking. I tried to find something that was sitting around the house so it could help me try to get this door open, like a hammer, or maybe something I could just start banging on the door to break this lock so I can get out of this house. It absolutely was insane that he had no front windows. So I ran upstairs. Now upstairs, I just couldn't imagine why upstairs could look like this. It was dirty, it was nasty. His bed was full of bed bugs and roaches everywhere. And his windows were all boarded up and taped with black tape. And these pictures on the wall of his ex-wife. And then I looked on the floor, and I saw this big humongous pentagram, and I'm thinking this guy is just going nuts. So I ran back downstairs, and I still could not find the way to get out. So I ran to the kitchen, because kitchens are always the ones that have a back door. So I ran into the kitchen, but the refrigerator was blocking the back door. So I tried my best to move the refrigerator, but I couldn't move the refrigerator. It was like it was nailed to the floor. So I tried my best to push and pull, and I tried my best to push it with my legs to try to move the refrigerator. The refrigerator would not move. So I went into the next room. I sat down on his dingy, dirty couch, and I tried to contemplate of how am I going to get out of here. I only had 3 hours left. So I said, fuck it. I got to try to go to see if he has an attic. I tried my best to look around to see if he had an attic, and I could not find an attic. Then I got a text message from him. "So, I see that you're still in my house. You only have a couple hours left. I think you need to get the stepping, because I'm going to enjoy my time killing you." So I deleted the text. I put my phone back in my pocket, and then I ran up to the second floor, and I'm still trying to find the attic. I could not find the attic. I could not find anything that I could just get myself and get upstairs to a room that maybe might have a window so I can jump out the window. I don't care if I had to jump or had to climb. I just needed to get out of his house. He had no attic. So I run back downstairs, and I thought, I know I can go into the basement, and I know he has the basement door. Ran down to the basement. I avoided all the obstacles so I can get to this door that was in the back. The door knob turned, but the door knob would not open. It's like it felt like somebody was holding the door closed. So I kicked the door, and I kicked it so hard that I hurt my leg. I fell down to the floor, holding my leg, screaming in agony because I feel like I really, really tore one of my ligaments in my knee. I got up. I limped my way to the staircases, and I walked up the staircases, and I went back into the living room and I sat down, and I was sitting there saying, I only have an hour left. What should I do? So I walked in the kitchen, and as I walked, I tried not to put so much weight on my knee. I walked in there and I was looking for a weapon, but I could not find a weapon. I couldn't find anything. Everything was just like it was glued to the floor. But I remember I had my razor in my pocket because I used my razor for work. I pulled it out my pocket. I made sure it was sharp and not dull. So I sat there and I waited. An hour went past, and I happened to stand by the door, so when he opened it, I could just charge right at him and try to get out of the house by knocking him on the ground and run right past him. But an hour went by, nothing happened. So it was just dead silence. I looked around and I got a text from him. Hey man, I'm going to be delayed. Don't worry about it. Get yourself comfortable. You know, death should be a like a movie, a suspense movie. You know, what I'm about to head to the store. What do you need for your last dinner? You mean, come on, you want some Burger King, McDonald's? You mean, you want some Chinese food, Subway? You sure you don't want your last meal? Because I'm heading over here and I'm very, very hungry. I can't kill somebody with an empty stomach. Because, you know, sometimes I gotta eat something because watching people die is just so exciting to me. So I'll be home in the next 5 minutes. I threw my phone across the room and I broke my phone into pieces because I did not fucking care anymore. So I waited. 5 minutes passed, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Then I started hearing this noise, but it was not coming from the front door. It was in the house. These footsteps dragged across the floor from upstairs. And I have to say, this is my time. I'm not going to die. I'm going to fight this motherfucker. If I'm going to die, I'm going to die with his blood on my hands. I heard somebody walk into the hallway. Hey Joshua, I'm coming downstairs. I'm thinking to myself, why is he saying Joshua and that's his name? What is going on? It's like he's mental. He came downstairs slowly. He came downstairs with this big, humongous axe. I mean, I never seen an axe like this before. He comes down with the axe on his shoulder. He looks at me. So, I see that you gotten comfortable in my home. That's good. I'm hoping that you loved all my amenities in my home. I know I don't have cable. I know I have a flat screen TV. I know I don't have the qualities of a perfect home, but I surely think you enjoyed it. So, how are we going to do this? Matter of fact, let's sit down and have a conversation. I'm not sitting down to talk to your motherfucking ass. We've been friends for so long. Why are you going to try to do this to me? Because, man, for a long time, I always thought of you as a friend. a great friend. You were there for me through my hard times, my down times, my drinking, my drugs. You were there for me all the time. But you took my wife from me. And I am going to cut your head off. And I'm going to nail it to my post out front. I'm sorry. You're going to have to die. He ran towards me, he swung the axe and he missed. So I grabbed his back, I grabbed his hair and I took the razor and I cut his throat. He fell to his knees, but as he fell to his knees, he swung the axe and it hit me right in my stomach. The axe went into my stomach deeply. We both fell to the floor. I fell in agony. He was holding his throat because I cut his jugular vein. He's up there gasping for air, and I'm up there holding the axe against my stomach. I seen his cell phone fall out of his pocket. I grabbed it, and I called 911. They came. They put me inside of an ambulance with the axe still attached to my stomach. Joshua died right at the scene. They took me to the hospital. I had to have about 10 surgeries. And I almost died. I'm trying to tell you, please be careful of your friends. Because sometimes your friends could be lonely. And sometimes your friends can want to kill you for something that they have known that you have done in their past. And they can never ever settle their differences unless they settle a grudge against you. And that's what happened to me.